Alright guys, so the season's over now, obviously. I got some of my equipment here. These are 3 hang-ons that I've had removed that were sitting at the Cavalier. Cavalier's public land, and you know, you take a risk when you bring your equipment, especially when you leave it over a time period, because one, you risk other people not only using it but possibly stealing it, but also you do risk the issue of safety. I've noticed over the years that more and more people tend to leave their equipment out and don't worry about it. They don't provide any maintenance to it, and that's just something as a hunter you just can't do. We can't afford that, whether you're on private land or on public land. The state recently started posting signs here in Virginia telling hunters, telling people that use the land, especially hunters, that if you have things like cameras, blinds, and tree stands, you need to remove them once the season's over, or else basically they would be confiscated. And I'll post that picture of that that notice or sign that we took from the Cavalier, and we'll put it on our page and website. What we're doing today is we're really performing maintenance. And I have 3 stands here in front of me. 2 of them are actually from the same setup. A stand that I was hoping that I would have the opportunity to either bring a youth on a hunt or bring my wife on a hunt. This bigger stand here, and all these stands were stands that I've purchased over time at Dick's Sporting Goods or Field and Stream. I probably have had 10 to 12 of these stands. Currently, I think I have about 8. The other ones I've either given away or were stolen. This stand here was at a very special spot to me that I've had, that I've hunted for a few years now, and unfortunately, when the state started doing maintenance in a particular area, this stand was located in the area, and hunters weren't allowed. No one was allowed. Bird watchers, anyone, they weren't allowed to go into that area. And I did the best I could to abide by that request and rule. When they finally opened it up, I went in to retrieve this stand. This stand has been there for over 2 years, definitely over 2 seasons. And I knew from a safety standpoint, it was time to go remove it, and it was definitely time to provide maintenance to it. When you leave a hang-on stand, regardless if it's chained or strapped, you're going to get a lot of weather to your equipment. And the main things that you have to worry about is your straps and your cables. Now for me, someone who's not extremely heavy, the cables probably have a life expectancy longer than, let's just say, 2 years. But when you leave them out in the elements, when it's rain, snow, the sun, there comes a time where safety comes first. You see so many different reports where people fall out of tree stands, and it's not always related to not wearing a safety harness. A lot of times it has to do with the failure of the equipment, and a lot of that can be taken care of if you, the hunter, just maintains the equipment. So over the last 4 or 5 years, I've been very diligent on making sure that I do that. I'm notorious for finding my spots that I like to hunt, especially at a place like the Cavalier, and I will leave a hang-on. I don't typically bring a climber with me. In this area where I live here in the Commonwealth, it's swampy. It's kind of hard to bring all the gear. You look someone like me who tends to bring 2 weapons, maybe 2 shotguns or a slug gun and a shotgun. So I've been known to bring a muzzleloader and a bow. All the extra gear that you might want to bring, camera gear. A climber is just something you really have to think, do I really need to do that, or can I spend the time during the off season, scout, find a spot, and have a nice setup ready to go. And that's what I do. I will scout, I will find a spot that I want, or continue to hunt a spot that I've had for years that, in my opinion, most people don't know about. I have 4 spots on the Cavalier that I don't really know or have ever had proof or seen any other hunters visit there. And at these spots, I've always had trail cameras. Only one time did I get a picture of another hunter, and it was as he was walking by the camera. The camera was set up 30 yards in front of the tree stand looking over a little meadow. And I don't think the hunter ever realized that he had 3 pictures taken of him as he was walking through this patch of woods here. So I go the extra mile. I put in a lot of work to scout. I do find a lot of deer. I just don't always choose to harvest, or like some of us, like this past year I missed 2 deer with the bow. It happens. But for today, what I really want to do is focus on the maintenance. There's 3 stands here, one of which has brand new cables and a brand new strap. And the 2 up front here, they definitely need maintenance. Both of these 2 tree stands have been stuck on a tree for well over 2 years. Each of these tree stands and setups have seen at least 1 to multiple deer taken from the stand. They're spots that I love, and I'm going to continue to hunt them. But I can't hunt them if I don't take care of my equipment, and I sure can't hunt them if I get hurt. So that's the whole point of this video, to not only preach of some safety here, but to show you what I do. Now, you can always go. These stands aren't really expensive, but money is money, and money doesn't grow on trees. So the better option for me, instead of continuously buying tree stands over and over, is to reuse. And then when I have to do maintenance, I'd rather do maintenance than risk the opportunity of getting hurt. There's a company called Primal Vantage. Primal Vantage, and I'll have a link to that company on the description on this video. And I also put a link on the Facebook and on our website. But you can find parts that you need for ladder stands, hang-on stands, climbers, related to cables, related to your straps, depending on the make and model of the equipment you're using. So for the last 4 years or so, that's where I've been going to get what I need so I can do the proper maintenance. And these stands are that old. You can tell by some of these stands, they have some age to them, but they've been used time and time again, and they've done me really good. And you know what? It's not always about the harvest. It's about the experience. It's about the moment when I'm out there in the woods. And as long as I can get out there and then get home, just like I say at work, just like those of us in law enforcement say at work, we want to come home or leave work the same way we came. And so, that's what the whole goal is to hunting. Have a good time, have fun, share the experience. So that's what I'm going to do here. We'll take some pictures, show you how to fix it. You can see here already, I've already removed the straps off this stand and the cables. The cables and the straps are already on, are still on this stand. Now, notice it's been cut. It's been cut because after a good solid year, and I don't mean a season year, I mean a calendar year, this strap is going to be so tight around the tree. Doesn't matter what type of tree it is. These 2 stands happen to be on pines. That tree is going to grow, and I think the norm is about an inch a year. These straps are going to be put to the test, and they will stretch. And either you're not going to be able to get it undone, or it's just going to be unsafe, dry rot. So the best thing to do is to cut it off. And I don't want to reuse it. So that's what I did there. Some of the cables still look potentially good, but again, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to go ahead and remove these cables and add new ones. Another thing that I would point out, bolts. Bolts can tend to get a little rusty, but all we have to do is take a wire brush to them, look them over real good, and they can be reused. Those would be fine to go ahead and reuse. Other than that, you can do a quick look at the welds on your stand. I've noticed on this tree stand, right here on part of the seat, nothing that's a safety issue, but part of a weld came undone. But like I said, it's not really anything I'm concerned of when it comes to safety. I've already looked the rest over and we're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and get started and show you what we're doing. As you can tell, we got one stand done, and we're about to finish this one right here. It's pretty quick, pretty easy fix. Maintenance is, I mean, the hardest part is going back out, retrieving the stand, pulling it out of the tree, and bringing it back home. You know, that's always the hardest part of this whole project. Bringing it back here just takes a few minutes. So if you look, I've already got one cable set on the right side. We still got to do the left side. So real easy. You got the cable on the outside. Similar steps when you're putting the cable and strap back in line at the top. You want to make sure that washer, it's a plastic washer, is in the bolt. Then you're going to put another one in there, insert it in the hole, put another washer in, and then we're going to get our nut on, and that's it. Should be enough play for you to move the cable. So you just saw me replace the cables on this tree stand, and I'm going to show you now how to go about replacing a brand new strap on a hang-on tree stand, which also would require you to reattach the cables. Now this method goes for a single bar frame tree stand, hang-on tree stand, or a double frame that you see here. Same principle, same way of putting it back together. The only difference would be is this would require a little more parts. But other than that, parts meaning bolts, screws, nuts, and whatnot. But very simple. You take your brand new strap. First step is take this bolt and put it in the cable. You have all these washers. Sometimes they're metal washers. In this case, they're plastic washers. You need to put them back together the same way. So it goes bolt, washer, cable, washer. Then you're going to put your bracket for your strap in, just like so. Washer, insert into the frame, washer, okay, bracket for your strap. This is where the male piece of your strap goes on. This is the part that would wrap around the tree and then hook onto your stand. We want to make sure that's on there right. Again, washer. You come back over with your cable. Washer and nut. And then we go ahead and just screw it on. Now, at some point you want to make sure that these brackets are aligned even with each other, but you're not going to have to worry about that right now. Just tighten it down, and there'll be enough play. There'll be enough play where you can move them with your hand to line them back up. Just like so. And then you can finish tightening them down. And that's all she wrote. Now the cables will still have enough play in them where you can move them by hand. Just gotta forcefully do it. There's one. There's the other. And that's it. Easy maintenance that you should do throughout the season. Now remember, these tree stands can cost about $35 to $40 a pop, but I can buy 3 of these setups, meaning 6 cables and 3 straps, for probably the same amount of 3 tree stands. So I can do maintenance over and over on my tree stands and not have to go out and spend extra money and keep the same tree stands over and over. And another video that we're working on right now is some turkey hunting videos from previous seasons, so hope you guys stay tuned to that. For watching a short video about staying
No, it's too... No! I didn't have it on yet.
She's got it on the non-stop.
Okay, now I have it on. I have it on now.
Thanks for watching this video of stand maintenance, tree stand repair. I hope you got something out of it, some pointers. Please always do some maintenance on your stands after a few seasons go by. Safety is priority. We can't enjoy the outdoors if we get hurt and we're spending time in the hospital. So take care of your tree stands. Like the video, share, and thanks for watching another video.